Hi, the SI meteorologist, Paul Dorian here on Friday afternoon, December 7th. Well, for the most part, the U.S. has avoided much snow and cold here in the month of December. 1 week has gone by, and meanwhile, around the world, there have been many serious cold spells and even some snowstorms in places like Europe and Asia, and certainly throughout Western Canada and Alaska. They've suffered some serious cold weather, not only in the first week of December, but throughout the month of November as well. There are certainly signs that the pattern here in the U.S. will be undergoing some changes over the next week or two. Not necessarily change all at once. It'll be kind of a gradual change, but more and more cold air looks like it'll pour into the U.S. with increasing chances for snow. In fact, beginning as early as this weekend in the Rockies, the Northern Plains, and parts of the Great Lake region, they should receive some accumulating snow. And there are some signs that even that cold and snowy pattern may move into the eastern states, perhaps not next week, but the following week, as the overall pattern undergoes some sort of a change here over the next couple of weeks. Let's take a look at the latest North Atlantic Oscillation Index. We often take a look at this at the SIweather.com because many times this can tip off a potential pattern change. Right now, the NAO is slightly on the positive side. You can see over the last few weeks it's been neutral or even positive here, but it appears as if all indications are over the next several days it'll take kind of a nosedive right down here to some negative levels here that haven't been seen since the very early part of November or the latter part of October. Again, the NAO is kind of an important index. It's not the only index to monitor, but it sometimes gives an idea that more and more cold air can move into the northeastern part of the country and be sustained for a while. Again, it's not the only index. There's a very important index out of the Pacific Ocean, the PNA, that actually is kind of a contradictory signal to what the NAO is showing. But nonetheless, this is kind of an important change here in the North Atlantic Oscillation Index over the next several days. It looks like it'll take a dive well into negative territory. Here's, in fact, the very latest GFS Ensemble run for the NAO. This is a series of GFS model runs with slightly different input, the ensembles, and it gives a little higher confidence compared to the operational model by itself when the ensemble run shows some kind of a trend. Well, there's a clear trend here. This is the very latest, a 12Z GFS Ensemble run for the NAO, going from December 7th all the way out to just before Christmas time, December 23rd, and it's negative that whole time period. So we drop into negative territory according to the operational GFS over the next few days, and then we stay there over the next couple of weeks. Well, that last chart and this one as well from RaleighWeather.com, and this is another GFS Ensemble product. It's an 11 to 15 day 850 millibar temperature anomaly chart. And what this shows, blues are colder than normal all the way from Western Canada into the western part of the U.S. And you can see there are a couple of negatives here. So you can kind of extend the blue all the way into the east here. Here's a -1 right here, a -2. And again, these are the latest, very latest GFS Ensemble prediction for 11 to 15 days out. This is all in speculation territory, but nonetheless, this is quite a significant change from what's going on right now. We've, of course, been kind of an up and down pattern here, but mostly up in terms of temperature in the eastern part of the country. And again, this is kind of a significant change here. The very latest GFS Ensemble run kind of correlates with that negative NAO forecast for the next couple of weeks in producing some negative temperature anomalies in the longer term in the 11 to 15 day forecast time period. This chart from RaleighWeather.com. Well, in terms of storminess from a speculation point of view, this is also from the very latest GFS model run, the 12Z model run from today, way out in the future, so certainly nothing set in stone here, but both this model and we'll show in a moment the European model are indicating possibly some storminess, not next week, but early the following week here in the eastern states. This particular forecast map is 252 hours out, certainly speculation here, but nonetheless, it's interesting it's kind of fun to speculate here, especially in time for potential Christmas snows or pre-Christmas snows. Here's a storm in the southeastern states. It does head towards the coast, and at the same time, there's quite a bit of cold air here predicted by the very latest GFS model. Let's take a look at the European model. This too is a similar time frame as that last one. Speculation phase, not next week, but early the following week. What the European model has is one low moving off the coast, kind of sets the stage for some cold air pouring in. Here's cold high pressure here in Canada, sending cold air down into the eastern states. At the same time, something is on its heels, and here's some indications of a potential storm here. Again, this is around the 17th or 18th of December time frame, so we'll certainly monitor this all of next week, but there is some hope for those that are wishing for a white Christmas, as the U.S. weather pattern appears to be headed for a change over the next couple of weeks. That's it for now for the SIweather.com. I'm the SI meteorologist, Paul Dorian.